It's a blessed evening. This is Sindisiwe. I think for a very long time, one tends to run with other people's agendas when there is also an agenda that is your agenda. I have a story that kind of is different, and it is enhanced though by the people that I'm going to be speaking to today. These are students or learners that are in the school that I'm currently running. And the reason I believe that this is going to be a critical thing for me is on the grounds that the school is something that came from the many graces that I think God has blessed me with. So when I talk about freedom in truth, I'm not theorizing about the fact that when you are a free person, not only does truth tend to follow you, but you attract truth yourself, and you find yourself exploring life because there is no baggage in you that pulls you down. So today, the program focuses on the journey that these particular students have gone through. But I think what becomes important is the significance of how it is true that we attract that which is already within us. So I found myself, at a very young age, getting into sewing, and I just was fiddling with the machine each time my mother was doing whatever that meant, that was related to sewing. And before I knew it, I knew that it was not just messing up with machinery, but I had a deeper love for clothing. I still have, by the way. I love clothes. I may not dress up all the time, but the love that I have for fabrics has made me to journey to the point where not only do I have the school where I am teaching people, to extend and to make what looks like a simple thing to becoming more professional about it and making a living out of it. I have made a living out of, sewing. I have journeyed with materials to the point that I'm able to impart the very thing that is within me, to other people. Not only do I do that, as part of this love for materials, I also do have a trademark that is registered brand, which is called HS is Above All, where I supply and I brand according to customer requirements, your bed linen, your gowns, as well as your bathroom, everything that has to do with bathroom and bedroom. That's where my passion lies. Not only did I go that far, I also went into the crockery part of the kitchen. So the trademark, which is HS is Above All, focuses on your bedroom stuff as well as the kitchen, the dining part of it. This is what I call grace, because I know that if I were to say I went to school for it and I began to learn how to do it, I would actually be telling you guys, not the full story, not the truth. Although with the sewing, I did at some point find myself having to go to a class. And it's amazing that this class was literally 8 days. I used to attend while I was a student. I would attend once a week on a Thursday for 2 months. And that's where I could say I learned how to sew. But even before I went to that school, I was already, somebody that was playing at a very young age with materials and machinery. So I do have HS is Above All. Not only do I do that, I also have a range within HS is Above All that is on your, again, bathroom stuff. I'm talking your body lotions, your soaps, as well as your shower gels. I am knowing, I'm not believing, I'm knowing that I am amongst the African women that are still going to continue making an impact, encouraging other women to say that nothing defines anybody. As long as you have breath and you are a living human being, you can pursue dreams that may find themselves translating into other people. I mean, up to date, when I look at this people that I have today here, I'm talking, this would be about 80 people that would have been gone through the school, gone through my hands to be empowered and to make their lives financially sustainable as opposed to depending on permanent employment. I am creating employers because I myself am an employer, and I really believe that nobody can ever take any person to any place that they themselves would not have been to that place before. So I am very grateful that my life is not stopping at impacting my life, myself, and the people that are around me, but I am extending to becoming a force that can be reckoned with. What do I do when I'm not in this class? I am a fully fledged author. I just write. I write as I'm inspired by the Spirit of God. And to prove that I'm a genuine author, I'm a writer, behind my name, there's already 5 books that have been published. The other 2 are done. They are sitting in my laptop. I write a lot because I get inspired by the Spirit of God a lot. I look at that again and I say to myself, it is grace, it is a blessing, and those books, if you were to go to my website, you would find them. The list is endless. I'm also a recorded artist. These mics are forever tempting. When I see a mic, I want to sing. I'm currently sitting with over 18 songs that I have been given and collecting since 2017. They are not recorded as yet, but I may be holding a Bible and just reading, and in that reading, I would find myself hearing a melody, and that melody would link to a scripture that I would be reading at a particular time. Again, I know that, some people may have gone to school, they go to school to become music writers, but I think it is really the grace of God to find yourself being able to get a song, to get lyrics, when you are never trained, to do that. Recorded artist, author. The other obvious one, I think, is the one that I am very addicted to the most, and that is I am a preacher of the gospel. If you can ask me what my life would be if I were to have another life, I can tell you now, preaching would rate as number 1, because I am finding the richness of life that causes me to be grounded in a manner that sometimes beats my mind. So again, you are looking at that, and somebody may be saying, so when do you do the other stuff? Where do you find the time to do all of this? I don't know, but I make the time, because what I am doing is what I love. So the key, I believe, is that in everything that a person does, it is critical that you do it out of the heart, out of your belly. But when you're going to do things out of your might, there comes a time where you cannot physically, sit behind a sewing machine. Like now, I don't sit behind a sewing machine, but I'm able to still impart that particular skill to somebody else. Why am I doing it? It is because it is coming from inside my belly. So tonight we are going to be listening to people that are coming from the school, very young, very talented, me very hungry for success. And I am believing God that they are coming into contact with me is for a very good reason. It is possibly because what they are looking for is what is sitting inside of me. And I would find it easy to take it out and take them and help them to reach the goals that they desire when it comes to the manufacturing space. So I hope you will be blessed as you listen to a couple of my students. I'm excited for the future, especially for the future for the African continent. And I'm believing God that what He promised us, we are yet to see it. So stay encouraged as we listen to these young dynamites. Our very first young person is Busiso. This young boy is a rapper, but what I want to emphasize is the fact that not only is he a rapper, but he is also a recorded artist. That's the one thing. The second thing is that the T-shirt, the sweater that he is wearing is again made by one of the students in the class, and a young talented boy who is making that, who has his own label. So it's critical. Once again, it's exciting, not critical. I think it's just exciting that we are having talent that is real in this country. And it is my wish and my prayer and my desire that if we can, let's support them, because with our support, they would really grow far. And see you shortly as we welcome and we watch Spusiso rapping very powerfully.
Yeah, sure, bafethu. It's SK Ntwana Sempumalanga bafethu. And the promoter brand Ntwana Yami. This is God's made. Brand Yolanda and it's homemade. This is God's made. This is God made. And the brand Yolanda, it's homemade. I'll show you place bangene talk. Kengiwam. Nama kengiwam. Okay, le track lang to i-perform nyalo ne. It's ama kengiwam. Mangit minung chole kasi plome wena uthi nama kengiwami. Minung chole kasi plome nama kengiwami. Umalanga tu Soweto nama kengiwami. Loud number 4 nama kengiwami. Club zone 2 nama kengiwami. Sam Master P nama kengiwami. Minung tole kasi plome nama kengiwami. Umalanga tu Soweto nama kengiwami. Loud number 4 nama kengiwami. Club zone 2 nama kengiwami. Sam Master P nama kengiwami. I'm counting all my blessings. Give me the champagne, we can drink with the glasses. Celebrating greatness. Thank you, Father God, for the struggles and the lessons. Never double cross at the Jesus on my necklace. Goons on my gas list. Pay me or die when I don't know where the cash is. Ask who the best is. SK the mess kid. Made the whole then I put you in a casket. Show you not to mess with me, mom. Pull up in your funeral. Green balaclava. Swag so clean, Mr. Minimal boss. Keep it on the low, smoking undercover. Now my shit I cover. Busy talking cars, I don't rap about that. Telling you my story and I'm stating the cash. Man, I'm slaving for cash. If you hating on them, my brain to the tower, I'm chaining a next. Minung tole kasi plome nama kengiwami. Umalanga tu Soweto nama kengiwami. Loud number 4 nama kengiwami. Club zone 2 nama kengiwami. Sam Master P nama kengiwami. Minung tole kasi plome nama kengiwami. Umalanga tu Soweto nama kengiwami. Loud number 4 nama kengiwami. Club zone 2 nama kengiwami. Same Master P, ngamagenye wami, ngamagenye wami, ngamagenye wami. Busy chasing dreams while you acting stupid. Real on my face, so academy too quick. Ngizwile petty beef, nami raiding on my toothpick. Svele squad strati manje hit you with a full brick. I wonder why you hate us, cause we chasing dreams, taking pics, now we famous. The money never changes. Same as K, man, I made it with no favors. Look into my eyes, I'm from the street, man, I'm fed up. MP to call it, man, I'm all about my cake up. LSA told me that. Educated nigga talk, I flip the beat back to back. Real achieve, face the fact. Got to buy no petty cash. Rocking 3 gigs, then I come up with some plenty cash. Since I was a kid, it was all about the music. Eyes on the prize, man, I swear never lose it. Yeah, man, I do this. See fake love, all these people tryna use me. Kodwa ngeke ngiphumele ezami isikwela ulaka siyafokronya sibala ukuphuma uphela. Before no SK ngicela indaba yakho isukumele. Stand your own ground or ubisa umngane ebukhulumele. Mina ngithole kasi ngiplome namagenye wami. Umalanga tusowetho nginamagenye wami. Nginamagenye wami, nginamagenye wami. Cloud number 4 nginamagenye wami. Club zone 2 nginamagenye wami. Nginamagenye wami, nginamagenye wami. Same Master P nginamagenye wami. Nginamagenye wami, nginamagenye wami. Mina ngithole kasi ngiplome namagenye wami. Umalanga tusowetho nginamagenye wami. Nginamagenye wami, nginamagenye wami. Cloud number 4 nginamagenye wami. Club zone 2 nginamagenye wami. Nginamagenye wami, nginamagenye wami. Same Master P nginamagenye wami. Nginamagenye wami, nginamagenye wami. Mina ngithole kasi ngiplome Pumalanga tusowetho. Hey, amagenye wami, amagenye wami, amagenye wami. Bafana basala badlala abantwana baqala bakhaza ke baqala bafana abhaya amasala baqala nyolwa lento fire basala bakhala sijampa amafenis ucash sipha amahenis fresh kuza ama ladies mess ngifuna uphepha manifest sibalinya ile ngisi track ngidlala ngiyayezisa bese ngifaka uABS uthuku uthela on the next I'm bending up it's true I'm going in ngivuthe ebusuku nasemini ngicela ungangikhuze bafazini mawujabheka mabikini ngivele na 2 khale ma crew maseyiphuma le ndlavini mina ngiphuza umagazini ungabuza nabakini. Thank you.
This is Sindisiwe on Fit on a beautiful Thursday, on a beautiful story that I'm going to be sharing tonight, or that my guests will be sharing tonight. It is one thing to be born from a very well-to-do country as well as family, but it is another when you are tagged as a black man or as a black woman that you are from the so-called disadvantaged. So I'm a product of the disadvantaged, and yet I am not, and my future is not defined by where I come from. I have some beautiful lady with me tonight. I will ask her to introduce herself before I make a boo-boo. Welcome, darling.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Tepiso Michelle. I'd like to think of myself as a crafter. I do jewelry and I also sew bags. And now I'm into making my own clothing. As you can see, I've got this beautiful top on me.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome. Wow. We've got Tepiso here. And I've already said this, whether maybe as the decade progresses, we are going to change from being called disadvantaged category. We are going to be attended to and dealt with and interacted with as ordinary human beings that are blessed, that are highly capable, and that can be able to transform their lives. Tepiso has already just said very lightly that she is into different things. I'm just very keen to know where did the dream come from?
So I didn't like school so much. So
Okay.
I had to come up with ways to not be rebellious like the rest of everybody who
Okay.
doesn't want to go to school. And then I fell in love with first beads. I
Wow.
touched them, they spoke to me, and I
Wow.
started creating stuff.
Wow.
And then I went to different things. Fabric started being interesting too. It spoke
Yeah.
to me, told me
Okay.
what to do with it. And I
Wow.
came up with different things, bags and jewelry. And I even went as far as creating my fabric,
Wow.
buying white fabric and making it
Wow.
how I would like it to look like.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
everyday life inspires me. Everyday people inspires me. You know, meeting other creators is also very inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, because you get
Yeah.
to learn a skill there and then, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
develop your own skills.
Yeah, wow, that's very interesting. I just noted something there. She did not like school that much. It's amazing how much we have been brainwashed that if we don't go to varsity, we are not going to amount to anything. It's a lie. What differentiates you, what makes you to be the person that you were born to be, it is the thing that is hidden from the inside of you. I'm not advocating that you guys shouldn't go to school, but all I'm saying is here is a beautiful story of a woman who, though she may not have gone that far school-wise, but she had a dream. She had a dream from our African beads. I'm getting very excited already because anything that speaks African speaks to me because I have an understanding that we have got power that we have not even begun to touch nor experience. Beads are from this continent.
Yes.
And she says they began to speak to her. And I would like that before me and Tapiso move out of or finish our interview, that we literally see the stuff that she has done. I'm very keen, though, to hear you. You know, what continues to inspire you? One, don't go as yet. What continues to inspire you? Number two, where do you see this dream taking you to? Where do you see yourself with the beads, with the material and the making or the manufacturing of clothing? Just your long-term goals.
So, number one, being a woman and how we are put down inspires me to get up and start doing things for myself without wanting affirmation from somebody else.
Okay.
Yes. And then the second thing, everyday life from home. Not every day there's bread on the table.
Yeah.
So when you do things like this, you come up with,
Yeah.
you minimize that problem
Yeah.
of not having bread in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see myself big
Yeah.
and very far.
You're going to go big.
I'm also even looking into doing interior decorating.
Wow.
So I this is me, my shop, and it's got different things.
Wow.
It's from boutique to clothing to
Wow.
bags to anything you can think of.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's how far I'm going.
Wow.
With my hands.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. We are going to have a shop, and not a shop, but shops. Okay? There's something that she mentioned, though, which I thought was very amazing. She is not dependent on external stimuli for her to be able to do what she's doing. She says, as a woman, I realized that I needed to get up. So, South African woman, if you are at home and you are watching us and you are hoping that some bread is going to fall from heaven,
It doesn't.
there is no manna anymore. You know the manna that Jesus spoke about? No manna. But your manna is in your hands. The works of your hands is what is going to differentiate you from the person that sits by the roadside and hope that there will be a whole future that's going to come out of there. So I hope you are hearing that Tepiso realized that if she does not get up then life will remain where it was. And I think that becomes very critical in this show. Let us speak the truth. Yes, we are from the so-called disadvantaged. Yes, we are women. Yes, we are men. We are not coming from Santon. We are coming from somewhere. But that somewhere can be a better place, and we can improve and begin to influence the world, because we are human beings that are pregnant with beautiful ideas, with purpose. And where there is purpose, there is no definition by the environment. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much for coming on board. But before you go, if I want your products, or if somebody that is watching us now wants your products, where can we get hold of them?
You can get me on tepisomichelle.tm@gmail.com, or you can call my number, which is 0711 900 185.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. You have heard, you can go get and support. By the way, we are on the drive to support Black businesses. We are not mincing words about that. We are not apologetic. It is time we take care of each other. Take care of Tepiso's brand, and you will become a part of the growth that she's looking forward to. I'm back again. It's a blessed time. It's a very encouraging, it's a very light moment. There's nothing that is as beautiful as when we begin to see young talent in our country from our Black people coming up with things that are completely mind-blowing. I've got on studio with me a very beautiful woman, very talented. In fact, the entire gear that she's wearing comes from her beautiful hands. Welcome, darling. I'd love for you to introduce yourself. Tell the viewer who you are.
Thank you, Mom Cindy. I'm Kukulwetu Dwandwa. I'm from the Eastern Cape, but I am very well known as Q.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I am basically a designer. And yes, this was made by me, and it's from Gwangwali, which is
Wow.
basically my clan name.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful outfit.
Thank you.
Beautiful outfit. Here is Q, guys. She is wearing her own clothing label. And she's taking the whole clothing and manufacturing business to higher heights. She is enrolled with Micromatica. She's a student there. And I know that by the time this program is over, we shall have made strides that are meaningful within the business sector. Q, why the space? Why the use of your hands? What inspired the dream?
Okay, it's basically lack of what I need when I go into shops. It's really nothing else. It's just that
Wow.
I've always been tiny and tall, so I
Yeah.
struggle to find clothes that fit me.
Yeah.
And my aunt is a fashion designer, so this one
Wow.
day she came at home and she was wearing a jersey that she made that I really loved.
Okay.
But I didn't know that she had made it.
Wow.
So I asked about it, and after she told me she made it, I got excited. I was in grade 3.
Oh my
So I
God.
got excited that she actually made herself her own jersey, and then from that point I decided that, okay, I'm going to make
Wow.
clothes
Wow.
that fit me perfectly.
Wow. Wow. Guys, grade 3. How old were you?
Probably 9, 10. I think.
Oh my goodness. Can you see what happens when this thing is hidden inside? It does not wait for you to be an old goggle or an old man. At age 9, she gets to notice and she gets to hear. And I'm very tempted to believe that she was not hearing with her natural ears. because things that we hear with our natural ears, they do have a tendency of getting in and going out. Has spirit man captured the person and the thing where it came from, which is Gogo's jersey? And from that age, we're talking a couple of decades, not that many, but she's here now, having determined from that time that she was going to come up with this that is looking completely awesome. For how long have you been playing with material and beads?
Well, I've been playing with clothes in general for a very long time. I think since I got the freedom to actually pick my own clothes when I go shopping.
Okay.
Because once I got that freedom, then I could even dress and style myself, which means I could cut my clothes too. So this was still I was still in junior high, probably. And then when I started working with beads and started using a sewing machine, then I was in Botswana with my aunt, the fashion designer.
Wow.
So that's when I started working on stuff with her, and she was teaching me how to do the beading.
Okay.
She was teaching me how to make jewelry also and other stuff. But then I liked the beading and the clothing manufacturing better more than anything else. Yeah.
Wow. You know, someone may wonder why I'm asking for how long. It's because of the level of excellence that I am seeing. I know materials, by the way. I play with them myself. So when something is substandard, I will be able to tell that it doesn't look it, especially on the finishing touches. But when I looked at what Q has done, I can tell you it's completely impeccable. In fact, I think it is already ready for the market. We are not talking about someone who is trying, but we're talking about someone whose garments are already just intact for the market. And who is the market? The market is you that is watching us right now. It's going to be summertime. She is looking summerish. You can't dress like this in winter. You're going to freeze. So it would be a great thing to support this that Q is doing. Back to the more important part. Have you registered your company, or are we still doing it in the kitchen?
I haven't registered the company yet.
Okay.
I haven't even actually started selling yet.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
I'm still just working on the production for now and other different designs.
Okay.
Then I'll do everything else afterwards. Though I am looking to register it as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm asking that part, Q, because we know that when you are wanting to become a brand name, there has to be, your company legally registered and you doing the right thing. And I'm saying this because of my earlier question to say, for how long have you been doing this? Because with this level of perfection, it is not right that we don't have a shop by now. That this is done at such a high level quality or high quality level that she should be employing people already. So this is very exciting, guys. She is as African can be. She is making sure that her culture is not dumped into some dustbin, and she's chasing what is not her, and she's chasing what she may not even be able to maintain. But what we are seeing now is garments that are coming from within. And she's saying, I am this, and I want to express myself in totality. Another question for you, Q. Where do you see this dream? I'm already seeing it, and yet it's not my dream. Where do you see this love, this perfection, this beauty? Where do you see it in the next 2 years?
In the next 2 years, I see it. Well, I've got The style that I'm trying to go for, it's basically, I want to keep it as traditional and African as possible.
Okay.
But at the very same time, I want to modernize it and urbanize it.
Okay.
So it's, in 2 years' time, I would say 2 years is a very short time, but then in 2 years' time, I would like to add other pieces as well, not just the, because I also make man throws and wrap skirts also. But then I also want to add other stuff that people wear a lot. Like, for example, I don't like head wraps because I've got a small head.
Okay.
So when I put on a head wrap, it kind of just disappears.
Okay.
But I love hats.
Okay.
So instead of having a lot of head wraps, I'd probably make some hats for myself.
Okay.
So that's another thing I wanted to add to them. So in the next 2 years, I would say I would be looking into just adding a few more pieces.
Yeah.
But if I look at a much longer term, I wanna have like a lot of stores all around, and not just here in South Africa, but preferably all around Africa.
Wow, wow, that's awesome. Wow, that's awesome. Yo, guys, you don't know how young she is, by the way. So the dream started when she was 10 years old. And she's pursuing that dream. And I can tell you this dream is alive. If you are watching us now, I like the notion that it is never too late to start. So you may be at home, you may not be inspired by anything. The reason why we're here, it is to say what makes us happy human beings is that we're walking in freedom. And what's the freedom in this? We're using what is coming from within us that we were given, that is our gift, that is our purpose. And we're exploring that so that life stops to suck. You know when they say life sucks? And I never ask, what is the meaning of suck? I have an idea though. You can change your life not to be that dull, and you don't have to have a lot of money. Just have an aunt who's creative. Have a next door neighbor that you can touch base with. Watch us right now and be inspired, because I want to believe that every human being, you know, I don't care who says what. I don't care where you may have been born, where poverty smells like anything, but every human being was born with a purpose. And if that purpose is not being fulfilled, you will have a very boring life and a very disappointing life. We've got big dreams here. Shops not only in South Africa, but I want to say beyond the African continent, because the world, you have no idea how much they want to be like us.
We still want to attract the tourists. We still want them to come in.
So. And once they come in, they find your stuff, and then they can take it. Brilliant. Just one word of encouraging somebody over and above what I am saying. What keeps you going, Q? What would you want someone who is at home and having no plan? What message can you send across?
Well, it's important to have a vision. It's important to have an idea in your head, and the execution part, you don't have to do it alone.
Yes.
You can always get someone to do it with you, help you out. It doesn't matter who they are, just as long as they're in reach and they're able to help you in the way that you need help. So just have someone to look up to and have a vision.
Yeah. Wow, awesome. You are at home, you don't have a plan. I mean, just buy a magazine, borrow a magazine, go next door, and page through. Maybe you will find something that you can do. It doesn't have to be clothing. It doesn't have to be beads. It can be anything that is sitting inside of you, and you've always known that there's something that draws you towards that particular thing. Explore it, because you may find that that's exactly where your future and your happiness lies. I would like to say thank you very much, Q, for taking the time to be here. We are going places. See you shortly. It's me again, I'm back. There is nothing as beautiful in life as when you begin to live the life that you know you were born to live. And that life does not have to begin when you are at any age. It can begin at any time that you allow it to become. I'm excited about the fact that, one is covering and is sharing time with young people of this country that are highly talented. It's beautiful, it's encouraging, and more so because of where we've been for a very long time. I think what COVID did, it made us to ask ourselves if we still had a future. And what I am having with me tonight is people that are saying, post this time, definitely there is a future. So there is a future, South Africans. There is a very bright future to the entire African continent. We are about to experience this beautiful future. I am not alone again. I have a vavavoom girl. She's just gonna do some vavavoom because she is that lively. Welcome in studio. I'd like for you to tell my guests who you are.
Good day, my name is Ntabileng Khasebe. I'm from Vanderbilt Park. As you can see with me today, I'm holding my fur. I'm a fur maniac because fur symbolizes power, and I believe that I'm going somewhere one day.
Wow. Fur symbolizes. I almost said resemble, and that would have been wrong because resemble says you look like, but this says power on its own. She loves fur, and she's going to tell us how deep and where does this love for what you do comes from. So you're going to tell us what you do and where does it all emanate from.
Okay. First of all, I don't just do these fur throws. I do fur cushions and your pillowcases. Besides the fur cushions, your pillowcases, your bedding. I
so
believe
you're my competitor.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Always. Let me shine for once. Okay, it's not only for your bedding, but also for your couches. I'm also interested in deco.
Okay.
I'm just one colorful maniac. I love color. Color drives me crazy. So how did this all start? I'm a very inquisitive child, I could say. My dad was a very handyman. I grew up in a very diverse family.
Okay.
My dad was a handyman. My grandmother used to do our clothes, like our loopholes where you could see imbobo. And no, it's old. No, let me fix it for you. And no, let me put the needle for you because I want to know what's this. No, it pricks you. No, I want to know, can you give me a chance?
Yeah.
So ever since then, that's when I started developing the love for sewing. And then it started with the deco company that I'm pushing and pursuing currently. I have an Instagram page called Bellstick.
Okay.
And I was so concerned as to, so now I have to buy pillows and pillowcases. That's expensive.
Yeah.
No, how about I break my savings account and get a sewing machine and do this thing myself? Because if I don't do it, nobody's going to do it for me.
Wow.
So I better get in action because I love power.
Yeah, wow.
So, that's basically me. And one thing I also like besides power is independency. So I believe nobody can do a better job than me. So if I want to do a better job, I got to do it myself.
Yeah. Wow. Sure. I can feel the power, and I'm literally just challenged because I thought I was powerful. But you know what? Birds of the same feather have a tendency of J. That is why she's here. I like what you said, though. I wanted to clarify it, though. When you said that your dad was a handyman, are you talking the handyman as in screwdrivers, or he was just doing a whole lot of things?
Yeah, it's a whole lot of things because it was the screwdrivers, electricity. 1 minute he's at the car.
Okay.
He was very, very helpful even around the kitchen. You would think maybe, no. He was just joyful and lively as I am.
Wow.
So I guess that's where I take it from, because my mom is very educational, and then there's me.
And then there's you.
The crazy one.
The crazy one. She really is into color. I can see her earrings, they are popping, and yet everything is very beautiful. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see myself branded on billboards, living the life.
Yeah.
You know, like more life to what is lively right now, more smiles, more happiness, pursuing what I love most.
Yes.
I love fur on everything. I used to think it was for winter season, but I realized that my comfortability comes first. So I wish people out there would also consider themselves being comfortable more than anything else. So I would like to see myself branded.
Wow. Wow, that's very interesting. That's very inspiring. I think what I liked, what she says is that if she does not do it herself, nobody will do it for herself. So the truth of the matter is, if we want to change whatever the tag that society has given us, no one will, the person that gave you that tag is not going to come back and undo that tag. We have to undo the tags. If we believe that we are inferior, if we believe that we are second citizens, no one will change that. We've got to change it ourselves. We've got to make and influence the life that we desire to have. She is independent. By the way, you cannot survive being self-employed and running your own organization if you are going to be dependent on other people all the time. I'm very keen on the other part of your business, which is the what do you call the events and the decor. How do we get you when we are wanting to get married?
Married. Okay, that's hectic, because I'm all about romantic palettes. It's wood palettes. I have not already acquired the chairs and the venue. But it's a work in process. Nothing is impossible. I'm getting there.
Yeah, you are.
So what I basically do, I cover for birthdays, whether it be your platters or the setup. I am there. I am with you. Like, just call me. You can find my details on Instagram. I'm Bels19, and my Instagram page for the decor events. And you can find my furs as well on Instagram, Belsteak.
You know, I know I'm not supposed to ask you this, but how old are you?
I'm 21. I'm turning 22 in December, the festive season, guys.
Did you just hear that? Here is a 21-year-old, literally 21-year-old. I'm even ashamed, yes, that I'm sitting next to a 21-year-old who is so much full of life, who is changing her life, who is creating her own comfort and her own royalty. You know, she's not waiting for anybody to do that for herself, for her, but for herself, she's on it. She really is interesting. She just is interesting. Her details, besides what she has already given us now, you will find or you will see them on the screen. She's already in business. She's already making sure that there is money at any time that she needs money. So you at home, if you are 20 and you are still asking bread money from mama, I think we're being challenged here.
You sleeping, girl? You sleeping, guy?
Yeah, no, they can't afford to sleep.
They can't afford to sleep.
What happens when they sleep?
Life becomes tough. I mean, you don't know for how long are you going to live with your parents if you're still dependent on them.
Yeah.
You don't know what life has in store for you after them.
Yeah.
You don't know what life has in store for you, even if you focused on one income. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah.
Because the whole suing thing actually started during the COVID-19 thing, and people were getting retrenched. Like, my biggest concern was like, okay, people are getting retrenched. Should I have been pursuing any cause for that matter, especially in the corporate world, how was I going to survive?
Yeah.
Because I heard that a few metal companies were retrenching people.
Many companies, yeah.
Exactly, and they were cutting down their salary. I can't afford money being cut down. Sorry, I love money, but I can't afford money being cut down on me. Like, it was never part of the contract, but okay, that is circumstances we can't actually avoid. But I was like, should I been focused on one thing?
Yeah.
What was going to happen to me? And I think it's a question that we should all ask ourselves. If you just focused on this one thing and you're not about developing yourself, what's next for you?
Yeah, sure. I think that was a closing comment from Tepiso, from me, from the show. She's just said something that's very fundamental. Life has no guarantees. No one knows what tomorrow holds. Yes, you may be young, but it does not mean that just because you are young, that mom and dad are going to be there for you. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. So I think that is a very critical note that I think she is leaving us with. We all do not know what tomorrow holds, but we can begin to engage with our current so that our current can influence, inform, and change our tomorrow. I hope you were blessed. I hope you were encouraged. It's one thing to be speaking about things that are said that make people cry, but I think it is another when we begin to tap into what really gives life. And freedom is when we tap into what gives life. This has been a beautiful moment with you, a beautiful moment with my guests, and I'm hoping to see you next time. Stay forever blessed and pursue your own freedom.